right, here we go. We got one of Toronto's finest, the young OG Pressa.
Toronto, where we're coming from right here. I had to come in the all-white Toronto joint for you.
I kind of want to start in the beginning because this is our first interview. You grew up in Toronto.
Yeah,
What's the area you grew up in?
I grew up in Jane and Finch. Jane
Okay.
and Driftwood, to be exact, but, Jane and Finch you would know as, the most poverty neighborhood in Toronto, if I said it right.
Right, exactly. I mean, I guess that one area is essentially the roughest area out there in
Yeah,
Toronto.
exactly.
Now, right after you were born, I think you were a month old, something serious happened with your family.
Yeah. My father, he went to prison. He caught a murder charge, when I was, just probably, a month or two old. I was
Okay.
born in May. I was born in May, and he got arrested in June or July, I believe.
So before your dad got locked up, what was the condition of your family based on what your mom was telling you?
The situation that we're in, before my father got locked up, was my mother and her sisters were moved to Driftwood Court. That's, where I live now. With my grandmother actually brought them there, when my mother was just, I believe, probably, 13. So they were, living the hood life before me, running around, seeing the guys, sell dope on the block, roll dice, gambling in the tunnels and stuff. So that's what they're coming from. My mom, she's a G too, she understands, she's seen a lot, right? Her man is my father, and he was he was a street dude, right? So you understand, if you have a street dude and your girl is your girl, she kind of knows what's going on.
So your dad gets into, I guess, an altercation with a security guard,
Yeah.
and something happened, and the security guard ended up getting killed.
Yeah.
Your dad got 15 years.
Yeah, 15 to life.
Oh, 15 to life.
Yeah.
Okay, so currently, is he still locked up or no?
Yeah, he's still locked up. He came out on probation for I don't know, I can't remember, probably just under a year or maybe. And then he got violated for his parole, so he's still in there now. He's going on his holy, I can't remember, his 21st year now. He been in jail since I was been born.
Okay, so your dad is locked up. When you were like a, 10, 11, early teens, were you actually visiting him in prison or communicating with him at all?
Yeah. Basically, I haven't known my dad. I haven't been on the outs with my dad or nothing, but he would always be in communication with me. Like my mom and stuff. They used to kick off. They used to have they used to not be on good terms, him and my mom and my dad, while he's in jail. So she wouldn't want him to call the house phone and stuff. So he said fuck it, I'll just put a house phone in their room, So he got us our own house phone in me and my brother's room. We're sharing the same room at the time, and then he used to just call us all the time. But I was always out in the streets more. He couldn't he would always miss his call a lot, right? Cause I'm always on the block running around, thinking it's fun, but really, you know what I mean? I didn't know it was ahead of myself what the future was holding against me. You know what I mean?
So as your dad is making these phone calls and he's talking to you, and he's in prison for potentially, he's doing 15 to life, not knowing exactly when he's going to get out.
Yeah.
Was he trying to give you any sort of advice, okay, look, you don't want to end up in the same place that I'm in right now, so you need to move different than I moved?
Yeah. My dad would always give me advice and teach me things. I learned a lot from my father. Learned how to save money, how to make money, and stuff. When we were young, my dad would always have us wanted to do the smarter way of things and not going to jail. My brother and stuff, he would we would have winter tires. He's 16. He just bought his Cavalier, and he has winter tires, but he has to go buy them. And then my dad would say, fuck all that, man. Like, just go grab the jack, go to a garage, go find the Cavalier, jack that up, take off that wheel, put back your one, just put the winter tires on your car, then go and get another tire from somewhere else, and then you save yourself $500, you know?
Okay. When your dad got out for the 10 months, what was that like?
It was nice. It was nice, man. It was nice actually. Like, he was working and stuff. He was doing like he was actually just finished school, his masters and stuff. In I think he just finished university, and he was working. He was about to get a good job, and then I don't know. He just like he ran into an altercation like that. You know.
Okay. So he got into some sort of fight, and then that's what violated his parole?
No, no. Basically, he was around like people that he wasn't supposed to be around. Like maybe like he had like the other guy had charges or something, and he wasn't allowed to be around him. But like he didn't know who's who, right? So he wouldn't know like if he had charges or not. If the guy had charges and stuff, right?
Like, how did it feel to finally get your dad back, physically
Yo,
back in your life?
it was very nice, but we're in two different continents at the point at the time being, right? So I was never in. Oh, actually, when he came in out of jail, um, yeah, when he came out of jail, I went into jail.
Oh,
So yeah, I ended up going to I was on the run for like a youth charge back in. I was on the run for like a attempt murder charge back in 2013 to 2014, and around those times is the same time my father got out. I can't remember if I was in jail when I heard he got out or if I was on the outs, but I ended up going to jail. He came out and he was like answering my calls now, you know? He was answering my jail calls, and he would never miss my calls though. He would always pick up my calls, you know? So it's a lot to have somebody picking up your calls all the time. That's like a lot of support for you. You know what I mean? You don't. A lot of people don't have people that they could call while they're in jail to get shit done, or because they're in jail, right? They don't have nothing else to do besides sit on the block, watch TV, and talk to and just network with other criminals and become a better criminal. You know?
how disappointed were you when you found out that your dad violated and got sent back?
I was mad. I was so like I was disturbed, but like I never had my dad in my life ever, so it was normal to me for him to be in jail, but obviously I was so happy for him to get out, like I'll be happy for anybody that did like so much years and came out of jail. Like he was a champ for doing that, like he was a champ for doing those strong years like a G.
So, your mom just gives birth to you. She has how much older is your brother?
He was 3 at the time when she just when
Okay. So she has two babies in the house. She has a newborn baby and a 3-year-old baby. And suddenly the man of the house is locked up. Was it tough trying to get by in that type of situation?
Yeah, it was good because like my father, he would always like check for my mother and stuff and make sure my brother was good and stuff. Like my brother would have like the arcade back in the day. Like he would have all the finest things like motorcycles and like they'll have motorcycles and he's always on the back and he's just driving on the motorcycle and stuff like that. But yeah, man.
Yeah. But you did say, I remember there was a picture of you,
Yeah.
like as a kid, like holding up a bunch of money, saying how you always had the new Jordans and everything
Yeah,
growing
yeah.
up.
Yeah, you know what it is like we had this back in the day. We had this little group called Fresh Kids, right? And this little group called Fresh Kids was like a little wave in the city. So all the local kids knew us because we had the newest Jordans and stuff. We always had the newest Jordans. We'll always go steal clothes. We'll make up fake donation sheets like for my basketball team. like, and then we'll go out downtown Toronto and make like $150 every day, and then keep saving our money and go buy a bunch of Jordans after, you know. But
Yeah.
those days got over real soon because like we couldn't afford like Jordans all the time now. Like we needed other things, right? We needed jewelry, and we wanted to save up for jewelry. And there's just there's some guys they're selling weed on the block. There's other guys selling crack on the block, and you know, so like there's just a lot of stuff that comes that I was surrounded of that I'll just watch and see, and a lot of kids see it as well. So it's like a recycling in my neighborhood because this would always happen, right?